Well, hello everybody. I do apologize because I did not get a video out yesterday. I have my brother, not the one that has the cancer, but the other brother who is going to be coming and staying with me for a little while. So I was trying to get his bedroom ready. That's why I didn't get a video out yesterday. This is going to be slightly long because I have several things I want to discuss, and we're probably going to be skipping from one thing to the next. And I hope you all can catch up or keep up, should I say, keep up, because I do have a bunch of different things I want to discuss. And one is, as I said, I'm going to put out my understanding or my insight on what may happen coming this June. Now, last year I called the courthouse and I asked when the grand jury was going to be meeting. I'm not going to swear to it, but I believe I was the first person to talk about the grand jury and possible indictments against the guilty parties in Summer's case. The grand jury last year met on April the 10th, and then I believe the next meeting was going to be on June the 11th. And in my community tab, because I do not delete anything off my channel, that I can leave up. I don't dirty delete or clean out things or whatever. So if I've posted something, it's out there. And I do believe I put the address or the dates of the grand jury meeting last year when I called and spoke to the lady about it. So there has been information came through that yes, they are meeting again in June. They just met on April 10th again this year. And they believe, from what I'm hearing, that they may have enough for Dan Armstrong to take in front of the grand jury to get an indictment against the guilty parties. Whether this is true or not, I do not know. It's the stuff that's coming down the rumor mill. I have said many, many, many times that I believed and I hoped and I prayed that she was out there, that she was handed off, and that she would be found or brought back or revealed, or until I saw Dawn go off that the other night. And guys, I'm just saying, there's something, and like I said, it won't be the passion. It's not passion that's in his tone of voice or in what he says. It's the what would you call it? It's the context of what he said, the conviction. That's the word I'm thinking of. The conviction in his voice, in his mannerisms, in his facial features.
They probably fucking raped her. They probably fucking killed her. What am I supposed to call this motherfucker?
The conviction of what may have took place, or the picture that he's painting in your head about somebody coming up there and doing harm to somebody in his family. You know, when he was hollering, what am I supposed to call them? What am I supposed to call them? Somebody that comes up there and blah, blah, blah. There was such conviction. Like, you could tell that he'd either been through it before or has seen it. No, I'm not saying somebody came up there and used a pew pew and did anything to the baby, but there is such conviction and anxious nervousness in his voice, like the man is scared. Yes, he was screaming and cursing at YouTubers and Ellie and the psychics, the judges, the CPS. But I truly do not believe that he was speaking to us. I believe he was speaking to someone else, someone that he knows, someone that he has personally spoke with. Just my opinion. But as far as the grand jury goes, I do believe they are about ready to take something in front of the grand jury and indict the people who are responsible for this baby's disappearance and whatever may have happened to her after that. Like I said, I've prayed that she would be found alive or brought back or whatever. But guys, after his little rant the other night, I'm not losing hope in Summer, but I am losing hope in bringing her back alive. Like I said, Don just had too much conviction in his voice, in what he was saying. You always have to read between the lines. Now, I've heard from an ex-DA, or I've received information from an ex-DA, that anything that is used on YouTube can be took in front of the grand jury and can be used as evidence to get an indictment, to get a true bill against the guilty parties, whether it be Don and Candus or anybody else that may have been on camera, on YouTube, the news, it doesn't matter, Facebook. I myself happen to think that if something did go wrong up there on the hill, there was more than one or two people involved. I truly believe that. I truly believe that that may be why it has took them so long, is because they've had to gather evidence against multiple people. Text messages, Facebook messages, it's like the branches on a tree. You may have found this text message here on the main phone, but if one goes out to that person and the other one goes out to that person, then you have to go check those people's phones, and then they may have branches that go out. There may be a lot of people involved in this, and they've had to have time to follow those branches to find out what part they played. As I said, I'm going to be jumping around, and I do apologize, but my mind's going 1,000 different places. Last night, Daisy, she made that statement. I'm so sick of hearing it's supposed to be about summer. Well, Daisy, it's supposed to be about summer. All of it is supposed to be about summer. None of it is supposed to be about Dawn and Candus. Now, in Daisy's chat last night, because I went back and was listening, and she was talking about how Candus could turn her back on Cathy. Or, sorry, I do apologize. How Cathy could turn her back on Candus. And I put the statement out there. And I'm not sure if Daisy completely understood it or not, but it said, Daisy, maybe she's not bashing Candus, because that's how Daisy put it, was she was bashing Candus. So maybe she's not bashing Candus. Maybe she just got tired of the truth not being put out there. Maybe she felt that Candus was no longer a friend of hers. So why should she keep all the dirty little secrets? Why should she keep quiet if Candus was not being, or is not still being, a friend to her? And obviously she's not. You can't say she is, because Candus and Dawn both have been accusing Cathy of being a thief and a snake, cheating them out of the Suburban. And you tell me somebody that's not, if they have a chance to buy a Suburban for $1,000 that's in good shape, runs, blah, blah, blah. Tell me anybody that's not going to do that. And yes, Candus says, oh, she drawed food stamps. Well, let me tell you something. She got $194 in food stamps. When did she go and apply for those food stamps? As soon as she went to stay at Cathy's? 2 months in? 3 months in? She stayed there for what, 6 months? Did she go and apply on the 6th month? And do you really think that $194 is going to, feed Candus? Or, you forget what Cathy did for her. There's room and board, there's electricity, there's water, food that Candus's food stamps didn't buy, cigarettes, shampoo, conditioner, soap, all the little stuff that you need to live on a daily basis. Those food stamps did not buy all of that. So no, Cathy probably didn't bring it up. It just really, it bothers me. And while it's out there, Daisy, I would love to cordially invite you, but let me finish this. When I put that post out there on her chat last night, she came back and was speaking directly to me, saying, I forget exactly the words she used. She was very cordial, but she said, we may not agree, we may disagree and all that on this case, but there may be another case out there that we agree on. And I do agree, Daisy, I do agree. I have never came at you or bashed you or belittled you. I did say something about how you and Christine were acting towards Candus and how you were treating her. You're treating her like she's either mentally disabled or she is a teeny tiny child. And I myself think that is wrong for Candus's sake. I've said that on a phone call to donwells himself, and he agrees. He don't like you talking to Candus that way either. It's belittling Candus. But I'm asking you, not for a bash session, not for anything, just to have a discussion. I cordially invite you, Daisy, to come over on my panel and me and you have a discussion about this. I would be very grateful if you do that. No, Jinkies and Sherry and Christine and Candus and all them are not going to be coming over. Just you. Now, you can have them sitting in the background if that's what you want. But I would like to have a one-on-one discussion with you. Now, jumping again to another subject. It was called to my attention by Discovering. She actually saw this in a chat the other day, and she told me about it, and I'm like, oh wow, that really needs to be put out there. Okay, everybody knows that when Hunter did his interview with Chris M, his dad supposedly had told him that if you didn't feel like saying something, just tell a lie. May not be exactly what Andrew said, but it's paraphrasing what was said. Well, do you all remember that Hunter said that Candus came back 2 days in a row? She came back on Wednesday and then she came back on Thursday. And this was both supposed to be when, after TBI told them to stay away from each other. And then he says that the second day, Candus had went out to her car to get something. And while she was gone out to the car, her phone was laying on the corner of the coffee table, and he picked it up and was going through it. And he looked in the trash, the Google or the photo trash, whatever it was, gallery. We know that text messages do not get deleted to the gallery trash, only pictures do. But whatever he may be talking about. And nobody could figure out what it's done was or who Andy might be. Well, is it possible, guys, that he wasn't looking in the gallery, that he was actually looking in deleted text, or heck, for that matter, the text messages, and possibly seen, I'm done? Do you remember that he told the story about Candus being at the hospital and they got ready to leave, or they were getting ready to leave, and Candus texted Candus and said she was done at the hospital. And then instead of going wherever they were going, they had to go back and pick Candus up. Could she have said, I'm done? Could that have been it? Could it have been Candy and not Andy? I mean, I'm not sure how Candus refers to herself to Candus, or how Candus might have her listed in her phone. But if Hunter's upset and he's hurrying and he's trying not to let Candus know what he's doing, could he have accidentally read it wrong and it said, I'm done, and then said Candy and not Andy? To me, that is a very likely possibility. I'm not trying to take up for nobody, but we have got to get some of this stuff sorted out. We have got to get the actual facts out here, guys, and stop the rumors. You know, the game password, or whatever you want to call it, telephone or whatever, where I say something and then the next person takes part of what I said and adds something else to it, and so on and so forth. We've got to get back to the root of what was actually done, said, seen, whatever. But think about that, guys. Tell me in the comments what you think. Could it have been, instead of it's done, it was said I'm done, and instead of Andy, it said Candy? Also, my opinion, and you can look it up for yourself and take it however you perceive it, to what the meaning you perceive it to be. When there's a gag order on a case, whether it be juvenile or adults or whatever, guys, that does not mean there's a gag order on everybody in the world. There's no way it could. The gag order is talking about the people who are directly connected to the case. That would include like Dawn, Candus, Hunter, Allie, Jody Sue, the lawyers, CPS workers, court people that are handling the paperwork. Nobody in that situation is supposed to talk to media. They're not supposed to talk to media. It doesn't mean that Dawn and Candus can't go home and sit down and talk about it. It doesn't mean that the court clerk who filed the paperwork went home and talked to her husband about it. It just means, hey, you guys cannot speak to the media. You guys cannot talk to other lawyers. You guys cannot talk to other witnesses. Can't talk to Dawn and Candus about it. It does not mean people on YouTube cannot speak about this court case or the people involved. If and when there's a gag order that stops the media from talking, guess what? It will say the word media in it. And there is such a gag order that stops the media from talking about a case. This ain't one of them. We, as YouTubers, can discuss it. Cathy, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, can discuss it. Is it her fault that she was actually, part of the situation for a while? Well, I mean, I guess you could. But that doesn't mean anything now. She's a content creator. If she has content, she's allowed to talk about it. There's nothing that she has said that would harm the boys. Think about it. The boys, if the text messages that she received are factual, which I believe they are, and the boys made a statement in front of CPS worker, psychologist, whatever, to Candus that says, we do not want to come home. How's that hurting the boys? It's not hurting the boys. It's not. The only people that is hurting is Dawn and Candus for that information to be put out there publicly, which I think it should be. I'm sick of the secrets. I'm sick of everybody hiding the information and the evidence. And I think I proved that with the jacket. I preached this past 2 years. I do not believe content creators, YouTubers, whoever, police, it don't matter. If you have information in this case, do not sit on it. A lot of YouTubers and content creators sit on it because, oh, well, what about the views? I'll get more views and more clicks and this and that, the other. If I hang on to it and just give you tidbits here and there, I'll get you hooked and you'll come back. I'm not like that. Either you like watching my content and what I put out there and you respect the fact that I'm honest and you watch me because of that, or you don't. But I do not believe if you have something, information that is crucial to this case, that you should sit on it. Yes, call it into TBI, but put it out there. What would have happened if I'd have sat on the information about that jacket once I figured out I had it? That jacket, it may not mean nothing, but it could. And if I'd have sat on it and said, oh, well, I've got something, guys, but I'm going to have to wait to show it to you. No, I'm not like that. And I don't think any creator should be. Granted, we all have our own ideas of what should and shouldn't happen on here, but I'm speaking for myself. Now, let's get to the leaked text messages. I'm going to be putting a text message in here from a friend of mine, a discussion that we're having between us. Yeah, we're not shouting it from the rooftops, and it is a discussion between me and her. But once she gives it to me, once she sends it to me, then it's mine, correct? If you get a letter in the mail, somebody writes you a letter, okay, say a loved one, an old romantic couple from years gone by. We've all watched those movies, and they've sent love letters back and forth. And the ones that the old person has received, and then the old person dies, they are referred to, those letters that they've kept and held on to are referred to as grandpa's letters, grandma's letters, whatever. They're not referred to as the other person that sent them, because they're not. They belong to the person that they were sent to. It's just like any object. If you give somebody something, it now belongs to them to do with what they want. If they want to throw it away, if they want to put it on a shelf, if they want to burn the letter, it's theirs to do with what they want, what they see fit. I see fit to put this text message on my screen to prove a point right now, even though it's from another person. They sent it to me. It's mine. The same with Cathy. Candus sent that text message, Facebook message, whatever it was, to Cathy. She gave that information about her children and what was going on in her life. She gave that information to Cathy. So that information now belongs to Cathy to do with what she sees fit. There was no leaked information. Leaked information would be if Cathy went into Candus's phone and stole information, or went to Candus's house and took papers or something from Candus's house and then put them online. That's not what she did. This text message about the boys and how the boys felt was given to Cathy. It was sent to Cathy. Therefore, it belongs to Cathy. It's on Cathy's phone. What do you think? Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? If Cathy wasn't part of the conversation, no, I don't think she should have put anything private as a private message or whatever out there, private information. But it wasn't. I'm sorry, I'm hung up on this. I mean, that's just like Tennessee is a one state or a one person state as far as recordings go. You can call somebody up and you can record what they're saying to you, and you can put it out there for the public to hear, and there's no law against it. What's any difference about the damn text messages? There's not. Okay, switching gears again, guys. On the lab last night, he was talking about the rules and regulations about CPS taking kids here in the state of Tennessee. I have lived here all my life. I mean, I've moved out to other states a couple of times, but trust me, Tennessee's my home. It's where I was born and raised. And there's, I've lived a flavorful life. Okay, let's just put it that way. No, I'm not a recovering addict of no form, fashion, or nothing like that. But Josh is right. There's a lot of strict standards as far as taking children in the state of Tennessee. But you know what's it got even worse after 2020. They literally, guys, they literally do. And this is not the stuff that's being seen on YouTube or in the news and all that stuff, but this is coming straight from workers that I have access to, okay? There are children sleeping on office floors, and the CPS worker in charge of their case is having to sit there with them. If it's a child that has, say like that, if it's a child that has autism or something like that, where they're hard to control or whatever, that child gets admitted to a hospital room, and then there has to be a CPS worker sit at the hospital with that child, even though they're not sick. CPS does not have room for them to just randomly accept children who the parents just don't want anymore. Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Don said it was for their safety. He begged CPS to take the boys for their own safety. Well, there's not much change, Don, since you asked CPS to take the boys. I'm doing air quotes, guys. You still have YouTubers trying to get a hold of you. You still have content creators coming to Rogersville, Tennessee, trying to talk to you, trying to get pictures and videos and whatever on your property. Yet now you're trying to say that they kidnapped the boys and won't let you have them back, and that you need $10,000, more air quotes. You need $10,000 to hire a lawyer to get your boys back. Well, why was it too dangerous back then? And it's the same way now, but now you think you can have the boys back, or you say you want them back. Makes absolutely no sense, Don Wells. You're not a dumb man, just like Candus is not a dumb woman, no matter how people want to talk to her. You're not a dumb man. You know there's no difference. Why? I do not understand. Don Wells, why do you continuously lie about everything? You sat on Josh's last night and said, oh, well, if I said that, I must have not told the truth. But you lied. You lied again. Do you think that people forgive you just because you say, oh, well, I just must have not told the truth? Or like when you told me everything you say on Prayer Gardens is a lie because you can't stand her. Does that, a lie is a lie is a lie, Don Wells. No matter what you say before or after it. Nothing makes a lie okay. Nothing. We all know the boys were not taken because you gave them up. For one, because it's just a lie. Two, because the state of Tennessee does not have room to just take children who are not in any danger. Their parents just think, oh, well, they'd be safer there. They don't have that kind of room to place these children. They don't. And I'm sticking this in here, guys, because I just thought about it. Don Wells, if it's true that the state of Tennessee and all the taxpayers of Tennessee has took care of your children for the past 2 years, and all you were ordered to pay was $10 a month per child, and we're only doing it because you asked the state of Tennessee to take care of them, because you, as a big, strong, grown man, couldn't protect your own children from a YouTuber? Well, if that's truly the case, and you ask the state of Tennessee to take custody of your children, I think it's only right when you go to court, you be ordered to pay back every bit of money that it has took to feed your children, every bit of money that has been spent on clothes for your children, every bit of money that it has cost to send your kids to the doctor to be taken care of health-wise, every bit of money that it has took to give your children counseling that they have needed because of all this crap. I think you and Candus should be ordered to pay every red cent back to the taxpayers of the state of Tennessee for everything they have spent taking care of your children that you say you were not man enough to protect. So I agree with Josh. Something major took place for CPS to have took the boys. And I heard it through a reliable source that yes, Summer saved her brothers. I hate that saying. I hate that because of all the attention that came upon Summer's disappearance. That saved her brothers. That right there is what saved her brothers, was the attention, the national attention, the local attention, the worldwide attention. And well, then again, maybe not. Maybe CPS was already involved, which we know they were. We knew that. From the get-go, we knew that. Now, my question is, yeah, the news said that CPS was involved in the investigation with Summer in her disappearance. That I'm still trying to figure out. And I'll have to make a phone call or two to see if I can't get some ideas of why. I don't understand if they're involved in the investigation of her disappearance. That wouldn't mean that they saw marks on her, bruises on her, or anything like that. Because if they'd have done that, then they would have took her, right? They would have took the kids sooner than that. So is there information out there that something else may have took place with Summer that CPS is thinking about, that they're studying on, that they're looking into? Did somebody else come forward and tell something that happened? I don't see what CPS could find now. Now it's just down to the boys. Let's say that Summer is brought back alive. Okay. If there was any broken bones, if there was any bruising, if there's any kind of scar tissue, and y'all know what I'm talking about, those things are going to be healed up. And as long as it's been, they could have happened within the past 2 years. Doesn't necessarily mean that it happened before she got gone, right? If she's not still with us, after 2 years, there's not going to be anything left to, there's not going to be any signs of bruising or scar tissue or anything like that. The only thing that it's going to show or could show would be broken bones. And once again, it's been 2 years. Who's to say it didn't happen after she got gone? There's no way to prove it. So tell me, what do you think? Why is CPS, if they're still involved in Summer's disappearance, investigating Summer's disappearance, what role could they play other than why Summer disappeared and what it has to do with the boys going back home? I hope you understood that. Guys, I know this is a long video, and I hope you all have stuck around till now. I do appreciate you all just sitting and listening to my rants from time to time. I mean, it's just the thoughts that go through my head. It's the ideas and the way I see things, my insight of things, my understanding of things. Some of you agree, some of you disagree. It's okay, either way. But Daisy, I will call her back at you. I would greatly appreciate it if you would come over on my panel for a live show one time. Get a hold of me. My email is NanasAngelsYT@gmail.com. It'll be in the description box below. Once you email me, we'll see about swapping phone numbers if that's what you want to do. I don't mind. But yeah, I'd like to discuss some things with you, because you and Christine both sit and holler that people are coming down on you. People are coming down on you because you're befriending Don and Candus. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. And I would like a chance to try to explain to you why people are coming down on you. It's not because you're friending them. We all know that people need friends, but I would love the opportunity to explain to you why I think people are coming down on you. So, as I said, you're cordially invited to come up on my panel. I would love a chance to talk to you. With that being said, that's going to end my rant. I hope you all have watched, listened. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe you see something in a different light. Maybe you can give me some information that I don't have, or insight that I don't have. Maybe you look at things completely different than I do. But these are my opinions So in my opinion, they're mine. They're not wrong. They're just mine. They may differ from what you think or your opinion. Just, tell me what you guys think in the comments, and don't forget to love your kids, call your parents, say your prayers, and thank the good Lord above that we get to wake up each and every morning and do what we can to try to find these children, to try to find this baby girl, or at least find out what happened to her. And I'll see you on the next video, guys.